Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was From a Demonic Clan with OP abilities. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episodes over the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, smash that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado, wasting no more time, don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. Let's jump right into this brand new episode. Begin now guys. So the last spot we left off, we began at the Hidden Rain. The Hidden Rain had grown over the past couple of years, economically and in strength as well. The shinobis were training harder, the village was growing, missions were coming in better. Yes, the village has seen an increased growth. There was also some more big changes going on at the moment. We went to the office of none other than Hanzo. However, as Hanzo was doing his work, underneath the tower there was a man. Right here. Along with a slash on his face. A permanent mark that was not going to be removed anytime soon. A woman came in as she told him about the daimyo that was taking place. There was a daimyo that was forming to control these lands. And he also wanted to have a talk with the leader, Hanzo, of the salamander that was currently in charge of the Hidden Rain. However, these two people were in charge of a lot. It was just a facade after all. The man was Nagato. Nagato Uzumaki. Yes, he was a Uzumaki. Right here. The woman was Konan. As the both of them were up to something. The underground facility that he was currently in. Well, there was something being plotted down there. He was allowing the so-called rise of this daimyo to have an investment in the Hidden Rain. Because this person wanted the good for the surrounding area, and the Hidden Rain being the highest and most greatest village that was in his squadron, he wanted to make sure that they have everything that they need so that they could formally put the place on the map, and he can be known as a well-respected daimyo. With that, Nagato pulled Konan in as he gave her a kiss. We then skipped towards one of the many islands that surrounded the Land of Wave. Gato was currently meeting with Uzumaki. Gato had hired their services after he see the failure that Zabuza and his apprentice was. So he hired their services as he got a member to participate in what he wanted to do. As Gato met the man, Gato had heard some frightening things about this clan, but he believed that majority of them were just a host. After all, the money that he was hiring was the reason why people fear him. Fear allow people to believe that he should be paid extra, and Gato did not like that. That is why he was plotting while he was hiring this man. So with that, he hired him and told him not to do anything yet until the right day, as he wanted Zabuza and his apprentice dead as well. So with that, we skip back to the house. Sasuke was watching Naruto. He's been here for some time now as he wanted to know what was the whole Uzumaki deal. Sasuke decided to make a brave move. Despite all the things that he heard, he challenged Naruto head on, as he wanted to see what the Uzumakis were truly capable of. However, Naruto was friendly. Sasuke was not expecting him to be so friendly. He expected him to be, well, not talkative and secretive and dangerous. After all, the Uzumakis were known for their demonic presence and people fear them. However, when Sasuke attacked, something strange happened. He was in the dirt in 3 seconds. Sasuke could not fathom what just happened as he did not understand. his mind not understanding how he was placed down so easily, because he was sure that he had the upper hand when he moved in, and the next thing he knew he was eating dirt. He did it once again, and once again he was in the dirt. Naruto simply tapped him on the shoulder and told him that he needs to train some more. And for some reason Sasuke did not feel insulted. He wasn't quite sure who this person was as he asked if he was some kind of prodigy or something. As Naruto did not answer his question with a full yes or no. However, Sasuke asked if he was the strongest, and Naruto said no, his father was. So with that, he walked away. A few days later, Naruto was left at the house with Tsunami, as everyone else had went about their business, working on the bridge and all that. Her son was not inside at the moment. He was out with some friends at a secured area. So, Naruto got time to talk with her. Tsunami had not felt this feeling in a long while, as she's not been with someone for a very long while. So, when Naruto was able to strike up those feelings in her, she could not resist for too long as she broke down. And what followed was just truly amazing. Later that night, Inari blew up in front of the group, as he was angry about this. However, Natsume was able to calm him down. She spoke to him as she assured him that they would save this country no matter what. Her words got through to the child. He walked off with a lot on his mind to think about. Later that night, Naruto made his way out as he spoke to Natsume. The both of them became friends. She was surprised, given all the Uzumaki theories and rumors. She thought that, well, it was different now because she became friends with him, and he seemed to be a really good guy. So with that, a few days passed by, as Naruto was at the house, when the two bandits came by. They were easily dealt with by Naruto, as he saw Inari rushing in. He complimented the boy on that. With that, Naruto made his way towards the bridge. Arriving there, Sakura was glad to see him, as they were stuck in a bind. The demonic chakra raised from the Kyuubi, as Natsume had went crazy after seeing Sasuke jumped in front of her. It also awakened and second told him in her eyes the fear, the adrenaline, the battle. And the Kyuubi chakra also leaked out as well, as she tried to rein it in, but her anger was just so great. But she did not kill Haku though. She stopped herself just in time, as Naruto watched the scene play out in front of them. That is when he intervened. Something was wrong. Zabuza also stopped, as Naruto walked on the bridge. Zabuza was shocked when he saw Uzumaki. He was about to tell Haku to get the hell out of there. If the Uzumaki was with Konoha, they were as good as dead. However, the Uzumaki told him to move if he didn't want to die. Zabuza, well, did not trust or really think anything of it, but he still moved his body, telling him to do so as well. It was a good thing because his arm got skewered instead of his skull. Haku rushed to his master's side to help him out of the way, as Naruto appeared in front of Tazuna and caught the knife that was thrown. 3 more knives was thrown, but Naruto blocked them. As another Uzumaki appeared on the bridge, Natsume asked who the hell was that, as Naruto revealed that it was his older brother. His older brother. He had a spiral black marking over his eye. He was taller than Naruto just by a bit. His hair spiking to the left, as he was wearing a coat, not revealing anything, but he was the one behind the knife. Now this was bad than worse, as Naruto told the others to stand back. Stepping forward, his brother, Menma, told him that he was here for the old man, but Naruto said that he could not allow him to do that. Menma chuckled as he told him that he would go through him. Naruto unsheathed the blades off his back, as he told him to try. Black aura started to ooze off him. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys again switch across the play, check it out for yourself. So this is the beginning this. No guys, Kakashi was baffled. Kakashi knew that his eyesight was fast. However, the Sharingan increased that, allowing him to see things that were much faster than his own eyesight could not see. But even with the Sharingan on, he was barely able to keep up, as there were several knives in front of Naruto, about to impale him. This newcomer, who he said was his own brother, was behind him, as all the knives that he threw, Kakashi did not even see when he released them. They impaled Naruto. Natsume's eyes went wide, as she saw her new friend got skewered. Her eyes were wide, as she was frozen in shock. She could not believe it. Haku was currently wrapping Zabuza's wound, as he was also shocked as well, not expecting this. Uzumakis were said to be the pinnacle of shinobi's power. They never seen one fight before, especially fight another. They've never actually seen an Uzumaki fight before. After all, if they came across one, Haku was sure that they would not be alive. Zabuza was thinking the same thing. Who would have thought that the Uzumaki fight ended this quickly? Whoever this newcomer is, he seemed to be far more deadly. Wait, if Gato hired him, there could be a chance. Haku, prepare yourself. Zabuza-sama? Zabuza winced. The knife had torn right through his arm clean. He would have been dead if it wasn't for the other Uzumaki, but he was not fast enough to save his own. As Zabuza was cut off, Menma tilted his head as Naruto emerged from his shadow and almost took his head off. Menma jumped away as he landed a few feet on the bridge. The body on the ground that was once Naruto turned into black mist before vanishing, like it was never there. As Naruto was standing there unharmed, Natsume released a breath that she did not know she was holding. Kakashi raised eyebrow at that. Sakura was just confused, as she was holding on to the unconscious Sasuke, who started to stir in her arms, as she wondered what was going on. As Menma frowned, "Are you really going to stand in my way?" he asked. "I told you, I have a mission to do." "And I told you," said Naruto, "I won't allow you to complete it because it's my mission to make sure that you don't complete yours." As Menma eyebrow twitched, "You're still as stubborn as ever, you little brat. And you're still as bossy as ever. But as I said, you're not going to kill the old man." Menma turned as he raised his hand. They did not see him throw it, but Tazuna almost died. However, Naruto was in front of him as he grabbed the hilt of the knife before throwing it to the side. Tazuna sweat as he fell over on his butt. "What the hell?" he said, sweat pouring down his face in fear. "When did that?" "I said, you're not going to kill him," said Naruto. Sakura was shocked. How did he get here so fast? As Sasuke slowly opened his eyes. "Alright, fine," said Menma. "I guess I'll just have to knock you out." "Naruto," Natsume said. "No." "Stay where you are," said Naruto. "But I can help." "No," said Naruto as he raised his hand. "I can handle him." "Handle me," said Menma. "Aren't you being a bit too cocky, little brother?" he asked. Natsume, "Do not engage," Kakashi said in a serious tone. She did not see the danger because she wanted to help Naruto, her friend. But this guy. Menma glanced towards Kakashi. "You're a good teacher," he said. "But you don't have to worry. I would not kill her," Menma said in an honest tone as he looked towards her headband. "Well, if she persistently gets in my way, I would hurt her. Badly," he said with a small, calm look on his face that was more creepy than him smiling at that moment. As he vanished, Naruto vanished as well. Clashing could be heard all around the bridge. As everyone was shocked, the bridge started to crack. The support beams started to break. They were moving so fast. Natsume had her two totem Sharingan activated, but she could not see a damn thing. As she looked around, Kakashi was barely seen any better as he saw movements, clashes every now and then. Sasuke woke up. What's going on? He received no answer as Sakura was looking up in awe. All she saw was clashes and movements and the bridge being dented or broken. However, that is when Naruto slid back as he stopped a few feet ahead of Sasuke. Sasuke noticed in Naruto's hands, both of his blades were broken. As Naruto looked down towards them, "You asshole! Do you have any idea how much these cost?" he asked. As Menma stood on the railing looking towards him, he was still wearing his coat, as you could not see where those knives were coming from. "I guess you waste your money. They were weak." "No, they weren't," said Naruto. "Take it back." "I won't," Menma said. Everyone was confused by their banter. They sounded like they were talking normal, but they were actively trying to kill each other. As Naruto threw both of the broken blades over the railing as they fell. He then reached behind him and held onto the hilt of the blade that was resting on his lower back. Menma raised the eyebrow at that. "Would you stop showing off?" he said. "We both know that you're not gonna use that. After all, you would risk killing everyone here," Menma said, looking towards the people. As Naruto released the blade, his coat covering it once again, "I thought that would be enough for you to stand down. And I told you I'm not. I have a mission to do. So, get out of my way," Menma said. "Over my dead body." "Fine," Menma said. "I did warn you," as he took off his coat. The coat vanished, like it was never there, revealing what he was wearing underneath. He was wearing a tight black bodysuit. It seemed to be compressed to his body. It had strange, red markings running through it, but the marks were almost humming silently. Kakashi was not sure what that material was. However, he was wearing bracers on his arms, with strange Funjutsu marking that Kakashi could not even consider to understand at the moment. He was wearing 2 belts, as one of the loops came down, along with comfortable black sandals that came up right toward his ankle. As he slowly rotated his wrists, the strange wrist arms on his hand were currently glowing, the symbols on it. In a flash, 2 of the knives were in his palm, as he held on to both of them before he snapped his gaze at Naruto. What followed was Natsume crashing to her knees as she felt an overwhelming amount of pressure. Kakashi fell down to one knee as he started to sweat. Haku collapsed face first. Zabuza tried to hold on, but he also was brought down. The bloodlust, the overwhelming amount of pressure seemed to swallow the entire area. The darkness, this was not killer intent. Whatever this was, it was dark, corrupted, sick, toxic. The black marking in Menma's face started to glow, an ominous shade of red inside the darkness. It was strange but unique. As Menma was flexing his power, Tazuna had passed out, unable to handle it. Sakura also passed out. Sasuke barely had one eye open as he was sweating, before he collapsed face first as well, unconscious. That is when Natsume screamed. Something was wrong, as red chakra started to surround her. Whatever Menma was doing, it was causing her to go ballistic. Her entire body was covered in a red cloak, as her eyes turned red and slitted. A tail elongated behind her. Kakashi tried to move, but he could not, as Menma was still releasing that ungodly pressure on them. "Enough!" said Naruto. The bridge under him exploded. His hair started to spike up and wave wildly in the air. The black aura of him started to become toxic, a sickly color. It was almost like it was falling and dripping off. His black mark started to glow, but it was purple and dark, twisted, as Naruto's eyes started slowly turn darker. As Menma looked at him before stepping forward, Naruto stepped forward as well. The bridge underneath them started to crack. The support beam started to bend. The water underneath them started to bubble. Violent winds started to pick up in the area, as Natsume was trying to hold on, as she was slowly losing herself in the toxic chakra that was trying to take over her. Inside her mindscape, the fox was being affected by this chakra as well, as he was growling darkly. His chakra was leaking out and affecting Natsume. A large portion of his chakra was slipping past his cell, because he was releasing that much for that amount to slip past. If she was to lose herself in it, he would be able to release more, but she was still holding on. "This feeling," he said, as he started to growl. The girl was being affected, therefore he could send more of his chakra trying to corrupt her. Back on the outside, as the two Uzumaki stepped forward, the bridge looked like it was about to be ripped apart in a second. The howling winds, as everyone was fighting to stay conscious, the ones that were still conscious, that is. As Naruto stood in front of his older brother, no weapons in hand, as Menma was still holding on to both of his knife. That was when Naruto picked up on something as he turned his head. Minma seemed to pick up on it as well. What's this? He said to himself, but Naruto heard him. As Naruto watched, the fleet of shinobis, bandits to be more exact. Seems like you're being betrayed. Tuh, he wouldn't dream of doing something like that. Well then, shall we test it? The aura vanished from the both of them. As the era started to calm down, the breeze started to slowly dissipate. Natsumai was able to regain control of herself as the fox chakra was now being subdued. Her emotions were finally back under control. The others are still passed out though. Kakashi, Zabuza and Natsumai were the only ones conscious. It was then that Menma jumped off the bridge, and he was gone. Naruto then walked forward, despite already knowing who this man was. "Who are you?" he said. As Gato looked around, there was a bunch of men behind him. A lot. "What's going on?" Natsumai said, picking up herself. Kakashi, who was just recovering, was frightened by that. However, he had to do something here. Zabuza was in no condition to fight. From his fight earlier with Kakashi and his hand getting skewered and losing so much blood. "If you must know, I am Gato. You're not the Uzumaki I hired. I can tell that you're one from that red hair and that black mark, aren't you?" "Yes, I am a Uzumaki. But I killed the other one." "You killed him?" "Tch. I was coming here to kill him myself." "You were? So you were going to betray him?" "Of course. Did you really think I was going to pay those ridiculous prices?" "Well, I wasn't. Neither was I going to pay Zabuza over there. I was planning to betray and kill them all in the end. And now, you're all weak. And I can slaughter all of you where you stand with my boys here," he said, a malicious grin on his face. "You hired a Uzumaki, yet you were planning on betraying him," said Naruto. "You're quite a fearless man, aren't you?" "Tuh, I heard about your stupid rumors. This and that. That you guys are mingled with demons, but I don't care. Ninjas are just tools. And as long as I have enough money, I'm untouchable," said Gato. "Did you hear that?" Naruto asked. "Yes, clear as day." Gato blinked as the other one was sitting on the railing now. I thought... You thought I was dead." "Well, that was a lie. What is this deal about you betraying me?" That was just for show. I thought you were dead." Was he lying? Minma said, looking towards Naruto. "Of course not. He's a greedy, scummy old man. Really short as well." Gato eye twitch at that. Believing that he can get anything he wants because of money, he can betray who he wants. "Is this the man you're working for?" said Naruto, as he shook his head in disappointment. "Look, I'm not the one to be blamed. I did not set up this job," Minma said. "But you still work for him, and yet you tried to kill that sweet bridge builder back there." Minma narrowed his eyes towards Naruto. "Let me guess. He has a daughter." "What? I didn't say that," said Naruto. "Your protectiveness of him. So you're going to be the shining hero, aren't you?" Minma said. "I have no idea what you're talking about." "That's enough!" Gato yelled out. "If you two think you can kill me, you're sadly mistaken. Boys, the first one to bring me their heads get a bonus." "You don't understand, do you?" said Naruto. "What?" said Gato, looking at them. "The moment you betrayed Menma started the Uzumaki," said Naruto. "As Menma finished, your fate is sealed." As both boys start to walk forward, before Naruto vanished, as he appeared to Gato's left in front of one of the men, Naruto grabbed him by the throat before taking the blade out of his hand as he tossed him off the bridge. "I'm gonna be borrowing this," said Naruto, "because this jackass broke mine." The man to Naruto left swung a cleaver, intending on taking Naruto's head off, only for a knife to split it in half and skewer the man in the process. "I told you those blades of yours were not strong enough. They cost a lot and they were strong. It's those damn knife of yours, said Naruto. You act like they're normal. As the boys talk, they were slaughtering Gato's people. Zabuza watched as he watched the massacre being unfold. This was not the first time he's seen or even done something like this, after all. He had massacred his entire classmate to get where he was after the graduation. Kakashi, on the other hand, he has not seen something like this since the war. The Uzumakis were truly a frightening combo. One by themselves was frightening enough, but the two of them, they talk so casually. While they spill blood, Kakashi looked down towards the unconscious Natsume. She had passed out. The whole Kyuubi thing and that strange bloodlust that affected her was just too much. It was a good thing that she was unconscious. He didn't want her to see this. He didn't want none of the kids to see this. It only took a few minutes, 2 to be exact, as Naruto kicked the remaining bodies off as they fell into the water. None of them were alive. They were all dead. The ones that tried to escape on the boats, they got a knife in their skull, killing them. It was a massacre. Gato was on the ground, as there was a knife going through his shirt sleeve, another one going through his pants sleeve, keeping him there. Gato pulled and pulled until he tore his own clothing off, now exposed, until the two Uzumakis turned towards him. And where do you think you're going? Said Naruto. I'll pay you. This was a mission, right? I mean, I'll give you double the amount. Double? For betraying me, said Menma. Alright, triple. I'll give you whatever you want. What do you want? Islands? Money? Woman? Anything. Just don't kill me. Please. Gato said. He was terrified as he was sweating. Kill you would be too easy. You betrayed me. You betrayed the contract that we made, said Menma. You have no idea what you did. The moment you stepped against me. The moment you nullified that contract for your own personal reason. For being a dick. Your soul was already damned, said Menma. What are you talking about, said Gato. Menma was in front of Gato in a second as he placed his hand on the short man's chest. Gato tried to run, but he could not. What followed was Gato screaming out. As he screamed violently. Slowly but surely he collapsed down to the ground. Kakashi was shocked. So was Zabuza. They were not sure what happened. Gato's body had withered away. It seems like he aged 50 years in 1 second. And he died. Now Menma was holding on to something, a strange blue orb in his hand. As he slowly closed his palm and it vanished. As Naruto kicked the remains into the water, that is when he felt something as he glanced up to see. Majority of the villagers, led by Inari and Tsunami. Well, it seems they got their hope back, said Naruto. Time skip. Natsume slowly opened her eyes. As she groaned, she had no idea what happened. The last thing she remembered was Naruto was facing that guy. He said that it was his brother. And then Naruto and him went. She wasn't sure what happened with them. Their energy, their chakra. And the next thing she knew, she was in pain. She tried to stay awake after the pain vanished, but she just couldn't anymore and she passed out. And now she was here on a futon. She rolled over as she pulled herself up, realizing that she was at Tazuna's house. So they made it back alright. She prayed in her mind that everyone was safe. As she pulled herself up, slowly but surely she made her way downstairs. Her body feels stiff as she worked out the pains in her shoulder. After making her way downstairs, she came across Naruto. She said as she moved towards him, he was talking to Tsunami. You're alright, she said. Yes, I'm fine, he said. I'm glad you're awake, he said to her. What happened, she said. With your brother. He was trying to... Everything is alright, said Naruto, cutting her off. He understands the error of his ways and joined our side in the end, Naruto said to her. So, everything's alright now? What about the others? They're fine as well, said Naruto. By the way, that Haku feller, telling me to tell you that he's glad you two didn't have to kill one another. And he wish you luck. Natsumi smiled hearing that. She had met Haku within the forest. She was glad that the both of them did not have to take each other's life. But they had to go. They had other things to do, said Naruto. What about your brother? He left some time ago, said Naruto. He's a very busy man. She was confused. How are you so calm about all of this, she asked. What do you mean, said Naruto, looking towards her. I mean, he tried to kill you. Oh, said Naruto, as he understood her troubles. She still did not know much about the Uzumaki clan, or their mannerism, or how they react around one another. You think that is bad, said Naruto. You should see my sister. Wait, you have a sister? Yeah, said Naruto. She's actually the oldest. Older than your brother as well? Yep, said Naruto. No, she's a nightmare. I'm glad that she wasn't the one here, otherwise things wouldn't have ended so nicely. So she would have killed me? Well, she would have tried her hardest, said Naruto. And how are you so okay with that? I mean, your family. Yes, we are, but it's common and strange. That's the only way I can make you understand by saying that. Well, I don't get it, she said to him. But I guess we should be glad that she didn't arrive. Judging from what you're saying, I'm guessing that she's more powerful than you. Well, in a way, said Naruto. What do you mean by that, she said. Strength is a strange thing, said Naruto. It's hard to understand or comprehend. Well, at least for us Uzumakis. What does that even mean, she asked him. It means she's crazy strong, said Naruto, in terms of everything. But that's all over now, and she's not here, so there's nothing to worry about. Natsumi could not figure out what he meant by that. He rarely gave yes or no answers, so she wasn't quite sure. But at least everyone was fine as she sat down. Is the Kyuubi back under control, said Naruto. She blinked in shock as she looked at him. You thought I did not know, said Naruto. Well, you are the daughter of the fourth Hokage. Of course I knew, said Naruto. So is everything alright? Yeah. I'm not sure what happened, but I've never felt this way before. Naruto looked at her strangely, before the look vanished off his face, as she wasn't sure what that look was about. But she did not elaborate on it. She wanted to put this behind her, and she did not feel that comfortable talking about her losing control. It was bad enough. Hey, can you not say anything about this? Well, it's none of my business, and even if it was. As Naruto drew a hand over his lip, like his mouth was sealed. Thanks, she said with a smile. Time skip. The bridge was finished shortly after, with no interruption and no problem. The people of Wave started to get their hope back, as they came together and worked on the bridge. Once that was said and done, they thanked them. They thanked them all. As that was going on, Naruto was with Tsunami alone, as the both of them were in a heated, passionate kiss. She had her arms wrapped around his neck. It seems like forever until they broke apart, as there was lust in her eyes. If you keep on kissing me like that, I'm afraid I won't be able to go. Then don't, she said. Spend some more time here. She's really enjoyed the time of him being here. It has been beyond pleasant. At first, she thought their time would be cut short with everyone. At home, however, Naruto had these things called privacy seals, so that no one could hear what was going on outside. And that was really fun, she thought herself. Those things were very useful. I have to, said Naruto. But I promise, I will visit, he said to her, as he gave her another kiss, one for her to remember him by. as she felt herself getting all hot and bothered. It was like he awakened something inside of her that has been dormant for some time now. She hadn't been with anyone for a long while, but this was far, far above average, and she knew that. He was amazing. Well, she was not so bad herself. The calm, sweet, motherly persona was good and all, but Naruto loved to see the other side of her. That other awakening inside that. Just want to go at it. It was fun. As they broke the kiss, they returned back to the group. Kakashi had saw the two returning, but he said nothing. Alright, it's time to go, Kakashi said, as the people of Wave said their goodbyes to them. As they started to discuss what they should call the bridge. It was going to be a huge surprise in the future, yes it was. As they were making their way back, Sasuke was bummed that he fell unconscious and he did not see anything in the fight. Sakura too. Well, she was not so bummed out about that, she was just glad that they were going home. Kakashi had pushed them on this training trip, and she was sore and tired. And the whole thing was just mentally exhausted. Natsume was happy that everything worked out fine in the end, and Haku was okay. She just hoped that he'd keep on being okay, and don't get mixed up in anything too terrible out there. She glanced over towards her new friend. He said that he had to come back to speak to their father, but that meant that he would be leaving afterwards. But she could not blame him, he was not a Konoha shinobi. He had his own place, his own people. But she was glad that she became friends with him. A lot of people, when they look at her, they saw her father, but when he looked at her, he saw her. He strived for her to be the best that she could, not to try and copy her father, and that is why she appreciated him as a friend. There was some small talk here and there as they made their way back. No longer worrying about the client, they can run at ninja speed. So it did not take them long to arrive. As they arrived to the village, "See you soon," said Naruto. As they got through to the gates, "What do you..." Natsume was cut off as he vanished. Where did he go?" she said, looking around. "He's probably heading towards his tower to report to the Hokage before us," said Kakashi. "I can't even sense him," said Natsume. "Did he teleport?" Sasuke asked. "I doubt it," said Kakashi. Time and time again, the Uzumakis always amaze him. Moments later, Naruto stood in the Hokage's office, speaking to the man about his mission complete. As Minato handed over his payment and thanked him for the job well done. As Naruto told him that it was his pleasure. Before the Konoha team arrived, Naruto was gone. As Kakashi and the others, "Father," said Natsume as she came in. Minato knew that something was up, because usually, she called him Hokage-sama in the office. She said that she wanted to be seen as professional. "Yes," he said. "Did someone come in here a moment ago?" she said, looking around. "Who?" he asked. "You know who, father. The Uzumaki. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. Did he already beat us here?" "Yes. But he's already gone, I'm afraid." "So quick? Did he told you about the mission?" "His priorities were different," said Minato. "You don't have to worry about that. I'm just glad to see that you all are okay, even after the mission was bumped up to an A rank. Why don't you all go and get some rest? I'm sure it's been a long journey," he said. "Kakashi, you stay here." Kakashi nodded, as the others nodded their head. Natsume was the first to leave, as she went to go and find Naruto. Minato raised the eyebrow to her behavior, the quick movement as she made her way off. As they made their way, Kakashi was left in the office with Minato. Kakashi started to elaborate what happened on the mission. Once he was finished, Minato was surprised. "So you saw two Uzumakis fighting?" As Kakashi nodded his head. "It's nothing like I've ever seen before. I've seen you move fast before, Sensei, but their speed was... I don't know how to describe it. It's not only that they're fast, it's the way they move with their speed. And I doubt that they were going all out. That was before the whole storm happened. Do you have any idea what it exactly was? Minato asks. I'm not sure. It seemed to be a collision between their powers. This wasn't chakra alone. To this day, no one outside the clan really know how their power is arise. They have chakra. They can do normal ninja stuff, but they have something that put us ninjas to shame in terms of overall power. That wasn't just a flex of their power, that was something more dark. I felt like my very soul was being judged by something I couldn't even understand, said Kakashi, as he went into depth about what he felt. And this reacted with a Kyuubi. It seems like it pushed Natsume consciousness into a state of fright, making her body subconsciously draw on the Kyuubi's power. From what I saw. But there was so much rage, so much ill intent behind it. And this Naruto fellow, I don't think that he's an ordinary Uzumaki. I heard him talking to Sasuke, and he said that his father was the strongest. I believe that he's the son of the clan head. Minato was surprised to hear that. So, they have more than one children. Yes, his older brother. I'm not sure who is stronger. By all looks, it should be the older brother, the way they talk amongst one another, but their talents and power is hard to measure. As you well know, some younger ninjas are extremely powerful. He also has an older sister that is older than him and his brother. And he seemed to be afraid of her, to an extent, I believe. More mysteries are unraveling. And you say my daughter found this out. Exactly. She and Naruto has become friends. As Minato was cautious about that, Minato did not want his daughter to get wrapped up with the Uzumaki. The whole nation had a constant fear about them. But not only that. If a Uzumaki weakness was found, in terms of someone, countless individuals would use that person to try and get to a Uzumaki, to study their bodies, to see what made them tick, to see if all the rumors were true, if they were truly mingling with demons. So that is why he did not want his daughter getting involved with the Uzumaki. As Kakashi told Minato everything about the interaction that the two of them had as so-called friends, Minato was not liking what he was hearing. Time skip. Natsume was trying to find Naruto, but the problem was she had no idea where he would go. She had sent out a few of her clones to try and track him down, but still, there was absolutely nothing. As she was walking past the alley, Naruto emerged out of said alley, almost scaring her. It was like she could not even sense him. What the hell, she said, looking towards him. I've been looking for you. I know. But I had some business to take care of, said Naruto. She brought her hands together as she proceeded to dispel her clones that she had out searching. So you handle the business with my father. Does this mean that you're leaving, she asks. Well, yes, said Naruto. As she frowned at that. You want me to stay, he asks. Well, you're a new friend of mine, and I'm curious about you, she said. You're like a big mystery. I like to find out. And let me guess, you like to solve mysteries, said Naruto with a smirk. Sometimes, she said to him as they walked calmly, as members were looking towards the both of them. She was a big deal because of who her father was, but Naruto was a Uzumaki. Those were tales that were outside of this village. Do you always get these looks as well? Pretty much, said Naruto. Your life must be pretty hard, with your whole family name. You have no idea, said Naruto to her. So why not wear a transformation or something, so that people don't recognize you? Well, sometimes the fame is quite annoying, but there is some good of being a Uzumaki. Plenty of good, trust me. Well, I'm not surprised. You being a part of that clan automatically mean that you're extremely strong. Are you guys born that way? Of course not. People are born strong but not overwhelmingly strong, said Naruto. So it's training? But you're my age, she said to him. Or are you really old and you're just looking young? Nope, I'm your age, said Naruto. I just went through training. You see, Uzumaki training is different from your normal standard training. What do you mean, she said. Well, for one thing, I guess we Uzumakis do have a boost because our bodies are naturally strong. In terms of chakra capacity and strength, defensive wise. If we weren't born with that natural defense, well, I'm pretty sure that majority of us would have died as we go through the training. It's that bad, huh? Add 100 to what you're thinking and then multiply it by 1,000, said Naruto. And that is what you receive. She looked at him like he was crazy. And you went through it, she asks. Not just once. For a couple of years. Huh. No wonder why you're strong, she said. But I barely got to see what you can truly do. You fight with a blade, yes. But your blades got destroyed. Well, those were something I bought, said Naruto. What about that one, she said, as she pointed towards his back. I saw it when you moved your coat. Oh, this. This is a special family-made blade. Made by my family. And the other two? Oh, those were something I got in the Elemental Nation. So why didn't you use that one? This is special. It's kind of connected to me in a way, if I might say. Connected to you? Oh, you mean like the 7 Ninja Swordsman? No, it's different from that, said Naruto. Think of this blade as a dog, if you would. A dog? Yes, it just can't run around by itself. When a dog is bonded to a human, for example in Inusakas. Oh, so it's that deep, she said. Exactly, said Naruto. And I'm guessing it's far stronger. Pretty much, he said. As she looked towards it, it seems really special, she thought to herself. My turn, said Naruto. What do you mean? My turn to ask questions about you. She shrugged. What do you want to know? Do you mean to take up the same title as your father? Well, I do want to protect this village. But I do not feel that it's my right or a tradition because my father was a Hokage. I don't want to get any special treatments. I want to become Hokage by myself. You have honor, said Naruto. That is good. I just want to prove to the people around here that I am Natsume, not my father's daughter. I want to get what I can on my own merit, not on recommendation alone. Well, I think you will get it, said Naruto. You barely even know me, she said. Yeah, but I see the way you act, the way you talk, the words that you use, the way you carry yourself. Not to mention you're special. You really think so? She said. A small blush came down her cheeks. Of course. You're not only a member of the Namikaze clan, but you are also Uchiha. Your background is already impressive, but you are something special as well, said Naruto. So I have no doubt that you will become something great. I guess this is where I leave, he said. She blinked as she realized they were at the main gate. When did we... Oh, I stray you here while we were talking, said Naruto. Huh, I didn't even notice. So, is this goodbye? Well, not forever, said Naruto. I will be around soon. Besides, I heard the Chunin exams are coming up. I want to see how you do in them. That's not too far away. I just recently became a genin. I'm afraid I won't be able to go into them. Kakashi would not sign us up that early. As Naruto smiled at her. Don't doubt yourself, he said, as he poked her right on the forehead. Bye for now, he said. Before she could say anything, he vanished. As she stood there, she reached up as she touched her forehead. There was a smile on her face. Naruto Uzumaki, she thought, as she went home to tell her mother about her new friend that she met. She was sure that her father would be asking her about him tonight. After all, Naruto was no normal person. He was a Uzumaki. Meanwhile, with Naruto, as he was walking in the forest in Hinokuni, when he picked up on something, Hey Sai, I know you're there. You can come out. As Naruto waited, 2 seconds later a beast It shaped like a dog, however, it had no fur. Its skin was like a black hole. All you could see was a shine darkness. Nothing inside. There was no fur. It had no eyes. But it had a face. The face was kind of flat. It had 4 legs. And it was about the size of one of the Inuzaka hounds. It then proceeded to open its face. Inside was a black, swirling mist. A hand then came through, followed by a body pulling itself out, to reveal none other than Menma. The dog remained where it was, if you could call it that. I must say, I'm surprised. Of all the people that you have gone after, to go after the Hokage daughter. Have you been watching me? Said Naruto. Menma was 2 years older than Naruto, as he would soon be 18, as he looked towards his younger brother. You know my eyes stretch beyond my sight, he said, giving Naruto a cryptic answer just like how Naruto always not answer people question. It was certain tics that the Uzumakis have. Yeah, said Naruto as he started to walk. Get your mind out of the gutter, by the way. I'm not going after her. She's my friend. Friend? Really? What? I can't have a friend, said Naruto. Of course you can. But are you the friend type, Menma asks? Are you? Well, at least I don't try to fool myself. You have tons of friends back home. Really? Would you call them that, said Naruto. Well, I would call them that, said Menma as they walk. Why are you even here, said Naruto. Mother asked me if I found you I should bring you back. Is that so? Yes. She's really pissed that you left on your own. I was bored. That wasn't all, said Menma. You were trying to prove something. I don't know what you're talking about. You being out here by yourself. You even have your own broker together. Missions for you. Mom is pissed that you left. Not to mention you knocking out your guards. And not telling her where you're going. You mean watchers, said Naruto. Watchers, guards, the same thing. No. You mean I'm being babied, said Naruto. You're in the same position as well. You know who Mom is, Naruto, said Menma. It's not that she is worried. After all, none of the great nations would dare attack us without a valid cause, and I'm sure that we're not trying to actively provoke them. I doubt they want it to happen once again. When the Uzumakis face off against the elemental nation. As Naruto kept on walking, not responding to that. But you know why Mom is concerned about you just running away by yourself. He's still alive, out there somewhere, plotting to kill father and mother for his exile. And if he were to find you, he would use you as leverage. Not if I kill him first, said Naruto. Menma looked towards him. He's stronger than you think, you know. I don't care. He's no longer Uzumaki. His mark was removed. He is now an outsider. I will not fall to someone like that. Do not overestimate yourself. You know that you could not beat him in a fight. Unless... Menma gave him a strange look. Wait. Do you have it under control? He asked. Naruto did not answer. As I thought, said Menma. That is why Mom is pissed. What did Dad say? Said Naruto. You know Dad. He's not as jumpy as Mom. But he wants you back as well. He just wants to make sure that you're okay. Despite how wicked we Uzumakis are, we do care for our blood after all. I suppose you're right. You're lucky I'm the one that is here after all. You know, if our troublesome sister had arrived here, things would have been much worse. Yeah, don't remind me, said Naruto. Sometimes I believe she's worse than Mom. You know what? I think you're right, said Menma. As the both of them kept on walking. Alright, fine, I'll return back home. But I'm leaving in a month or two. Why, said Menma. The Chunin exams at Konoha. Why should that concern you? Oh, I see. What about your little girlfriend? It's not like that, said Naruto. You can keep on telling yourself that. I've not seen you infatuated with someone like that for a very long time. This is not some common thing. After all, you're planning to go and visit once again. It's not like that, said Naruto. She's just a friend. The line between friendship and dating is really small, especially in a man and female relationship, said Menma. Naruto turned and held his hand out as an arc of lightning shot from his hand and destroyed the area that Menma was standing a moment ago. However, Menma was fine as he calmly resided in a tree above Naruto. You're even throwing a tantrum because I'm talking about her. It seems my little brother's in love. Naruto raised his hand once again as lightning arced from his palm and blew the tree to pieces. As Menma was now beside Naruto once again. To be young and in love. It was a wonderful time. You're just 2 years older than me. Yep, and don't forget it, said Menma. As Naruto stuffed his hands in his pockets and walked. Menma walking beside him. Yes, his brother could be goofy. But with him, under that goofy mask was a very dangerous, a very wicked person. But Naruto was not better either. The Uzumakis were a clan of killers after all. But all shinobis were. So what set them aside from being normal ninjas? Well, that was a question of the ages. Meanwhile, the Hidden Rain, Nagato, placed a hand on his face. As he felt his mark, the scar that was left in his face was acting up. As he removed his hand, a moment later, frowning to himself. Someone must be talking about me, he thought to himself. As he glanced through the window, as he took his foot off the bed, he glanced over his shoulder to see none other than Konan. As she was naked as the day she was born, the sheets covering her. He smiled down towards her. As he got up to his feet, completely naked himself, he found it freeing and relaxing to sleep this way, as she had taken on his own little tradition as well. Hanzo being in charge of Hidden Rain was a facade. Yes, Hanzo was there giving orders. Hanzo recently met with the new daimyo of this land. The daimyo was only alive because Nagato allowed it to be. Nagato was the silent person in the shadows. Konan was the one that mostly showed her face to the people. Other than her, there wasn't anyone else. After all, Nagato was just a person that was in the shadows. A person that was really running things. As he gazed over the village, there was a window, but you could not see it from the outside. It allowed him to gaze over the entire village and watch as the bright sunshine arrived. It brought a smile to his face until his mark started to hurt once again as he frowned. A quick memory flashed across his mind, with him screaming in pain. In that memory, as smoke came from his face. Never again, he thought to himself. He was thrown out, cast out, but he will get his revenge. He will get what he desired all those years ago, and they will be the ones bowing to him. And that's a promise, he thought to himself, as he placed a hand on the window. A dark look appeared on his face. He got dressed. He did have a meeting today, after all. Sometime later, Nagato was currently in a meeting hall, away from the populace eyes. As he was by himself waiting, it did not take too long for the person to arrive through the doors. Said person was wearing an orange mask. He got here through an underground section, so no one would have seen him. As the person stepped forward. You're late. I had some things to deal with, the masked ninja said. That doesn't excuse you being late, when you can teleport to anywhere you please. Well, in certain bounds. Well, my business was truly important, and given the fact that I was the one coming to you, I did not think that it would be an issue. You're getting cocky, said Nagato. Would I have to remind you again? Who is the one in charge here? And would I have to tell you that? I am not your slave. We are working together as equal partners. Nagato did not say anything for a while until he finally spoke. Fine, but remove that damn mask. We are the only ones here. The person was quiet for a moment until he reached up and unclipped the mask, revealing his face. To show a face that was damaged. On his right side. Alright then, Obito, said Nagato. Let us get down to business, shall we? As both men spoke about their future and their plans. Meanwhile that was going on. The Uzumaki Islands were far, far away. You had to take an entire boat ride to get over towards it. You had to cross the ocean. But not many ninjas do. And those that did, that went over there for hostile intent, they never came back alive. The boat came to a stop that they were on. This was no normal boat though. Once you got in far, you saw gigantic trees. Trees that seemed to stretch up towards the heavens. Far larger than anything in Hinokuni or any other nation of the Great Five or any smaller thing. The trees stretched all the way up, towering and so demanding and powerful. The shore was filled with a lot of fog all over. You could barely see. Normal eyes could not fully see. And the forest itself that they arrived at was dark. Both Naruto and Menma got off the ship. A silver-haired man gave them a nod before he rowed back off, making his way back towards the intersection. As both boys kept on walking until they got within the forest. Upon getting in there, they walked calmly despite sounds all over, things moving in the shadows. Creatures larger than buildings could be seen. Two-story houses. There were some great beasts that loomed around. However, Naruto and Menma were casually walking, used to this, as they finally arrived towards a massive stone wall, which was actually a gate that could open. It was large, far larger than Konoha Wall. It was larger than the monument. Given the reason why the trees were so high, the place was tall. Before they could do anything though, it opened up. Naruto! A voice screamed out. Naruto ducked as an axe flew over his head. It tore through the tree behind him, and the second and the third. As a woman stepped out, fury in her tone. Huh, you're screwed, said Menma, with a smirk on his face, as Naruto gulped, looking forward to see his mother coming towards him. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next parts, and do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm off, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.